Teachers, have you ever seen one of your students try to resist arrest? All of my students were laughing in the back of my class to a video on someone's phone, and when I asked them what they were doing, they told me about the devious lick trend everyone was talking about. They showed me, and I saw multiple videos of students stealing things from their school, seeing what they could get away with. I laughed when my students pretended to steal my phone as a joke, and didn't even think anybody would actually do that in our school. However, that same day, as I was walking past the front office, I heard our principal absolutely losing his mind on the phone. He was pacing back and forth behind the glass, and I could hear him saying something about the soap dispensers. He was saying they were gone, but that didn't make sense because they were literally bolted to the wall. How could someone take them? I walked down to the boys' bathroom to see for myself, and when I pushed open that door, I saw that all 3 of the soap dispensers weren't broken. They were completely ripped off of the wall entirely. It didn't take long for our principal to figure out who did it, because Andrew Sweeney posted a video of himself walking up to the wall and literally just ripping them off before shoving them in his book bag. The next morning, as soon as he stepped foot inside the building, he was immediately suspended, and I figured that would be the end of it. But literally the next day, I started hearing students talking about a new video. Apparently the devious lick trend was absolutely exploding on TikTok, and apparently someone else from our school had just posted another one. I would never have guessed what they could have taken this time, but when the group of kids were laughing their asses off in the hallway, I had to find out. I was the cool teacher, so one of the girls showed me the video. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Another kid had climbed up on one of the desks in an empty classroom, pulled out an actual screwdriver, and unscrewed an entire projector off the ceiling. Then he just put it in his backpack, and he walked right out of school with it like nothing happened. I knew this was getting bad now, because those things cost like $1,000. And when that kid showed up to school the next day, we could hear the principal yelling at him from his office all the way down the hall. The second kid walked out with a 1-month suspension, and I watched our principal stand in the doorway looking like he'd finally gotten control of the situation. He thought he'd scared them into stopping. However, the very next day, as I was getting ready to go home, I found him standing outside the boys' bathroom again. But this time he wasn't yelling. He was in tears. I walked up and asked him what was going on, and he told me they did it again. Did what? What could they have possibly taken this time? Because at this point, everything valuable in that bathroom should have been bolted down. But when I pushed open the bathroom door, I absolutely could not believe it. I honestly had to hold back my laughter, because when I looked inside, I saw that an entire sink was completely gone from the wall. Not just the faucet or the handles, the whole effing sink. We checked every second of the security footage together, while I still had to hold back my laughter. But weirdly, we didn't see a single person leaving the school with that giant ceramic sink. It was like it just vanished, but our principal was not letting this slide. So the next morning, he called 7 students he thought could have done it to his office, and decided to suspend every single one of them. Andrew Sweeney got suspended again, and apparently was gonna fail out of school now. There was an outrage school-wide, because at least 6 of them did nothing at all, and were facing consequences. The whole school was talking about how unfair it was, but those 7 guys weren't just angry anymore. They decided they needed revenge. They were going to hit their biggest devious lick yet. The next morning, Andrew came to school anyway, and after class started, he snuck into the principal's office while nobody was looking. And about an hour into first period, multiple police officers showed up to my classroom to arrest a few of my students. The cops said the boys in my class were in on it and had to be taken in for questioning. When I asked the cops what they were arresting them for, they told me what happened. After Andrew snuck into the principal's office, he did his biggest devious lick yet. He took the principal's car keys and actually went outside and stole the principal's freaking car. And before the principal realized it wasn't an actual theft, the cops were called. And since Andrew didn't know how to drive, he crashed the principal's car into a pole. Amazingly, he still didn't get expelled from school, but seeing him come back in a wheelchair without a leg was a shocker.